And we're rolling on the Sumo, ready to go, and camera 1. Multi-camera broadcasting can be a lot of fun. Camera 2. And if you're thrifty and even a little nerdy, you can get away with doing it with a pretty skeleton crew, using things like locked off camera shots, camera 3. Or maybe an autonomous dolly to provide a little movement during the shots, camera 4. Or even something like active track that could simulate an operated camera. But even if you get that nerdy with the camera angles, camera 5, you'll generally find you still need someone behind the vision switcher pushing the buttons. That is, until now. Thanks to an innovative New Zealand company, you can now use machine learning and fuzzy logic to completely automate your multi-camera broadcasts. Now, I'm Australian, and normally that means it's my patriotic duty to take anything worthwhile that comes out of New Zealand and claim it as my own. But in this case, all the credit has to lie with Noise Productions Ltd and their nerdgasm-inducing product, Virtual Video Director. Full disclosure, I've paid full price for this product and I have no relationship to the company. I just really like their software. It analyses the audio signals from the microphones on your on-camera talent to work out which camera to switch to. It can even cut in the occasional reaction shot from someone who's not talking. If two people talk together at the same time, it can cut to a wide angle that you specify. And it can even control PTZ cameras to reframe them and cut to them when the shot's ready to create more than one camera angle out of a single PTZ. Now, people have tried this in the past using brute force gain threshold triggers, but Virtual Video Director takes this to another level by using what they call fuzzy logic to analyze your raw audio feeds. You can set parameters for how trigger happy the switching algorithm is, with options for everything from grandpa all the way to crack baby. And you can set a minimum value for how long the software will hold a shot before it cuts to the next one. So what do you need to make this work? Well, it's currently compatible with vMix on the PC, Mimo Live on the Mac, and TriCaster, and there's also future planned support for ATEM video switches. On the audio side, you're going to need a way of splitting the audio signals from your on-camera talent's microphones. The simplest way to achieve this is with a cheap Y-split cable. Or if you're using a fully featured sound desk, it might have enough output so that you can route pre-fader signals individually for each microphone into your RZO interface. Or best case scenario, you're working with a Dante capable audio mixer. If you're not familiar with Dante, it's basically an audio over IP protocol that takes an audio signal, turns it into data and makes it available on your local network. So I'm working with an Allen & Heath SQ5 that's got a Dante interface card in the back of it, and that means that every single one of the channels on my desk can be plucked off the network by my vMix computer or by Virtual Video Director. Now, of course, this review wouldn't be complete without an unnecessarily complex test. In this case, I'll be enlisting the services of my two young children, 5-year-old Wes and 3-year-old Margot. Naturally, I'm going to shoot this on anamorphic lenses. The wide shot will be on a Canon C70 with the new Laowa Nanomorph 27mm. It's mounted on a Red Rock Micro one-man crew director, which will bounce back and forth autonomously on a slight arc. My close-up will be a Red V-Raptor with the 50mm Nanomorph. Wes gets a Komodo with an Atlas Orion 40mm anamorphic, and Margot, who generally has ants in her pants, gets another Komodo with a 35mm nanomorph, but this one's on a DJI RS3 Pro with LiDAR autofocus and active track. I've set up a TV in the kids' line of sight that shows a split screen of their camera shots, basically as a way to hold their interest for the time it takes to drive this test. Inside Virtual Video Director, I've assigned the C70 as the wide angle the software will use if it detects 2 or more people talking at once. We'll start with using the professional director setting, then work our way up to crack baby. So without further ado, let's bring in the talent, shall we?
Wow, this is pretty cool. Is this a party?
Yeah.
I love this party. That tells me the level I'm talking like. Ready? Check on 2, check on 2, check on 2.
Seat and show me.
I was talking so loud and that level went so high.
Couple of notes real quick. If you're working with your own children, you might be tempted to let them into the room before you finish setting up. And at first, it might even feel like they're helping you.
Do you hear me, Daddy? I'm looking at the camera. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2.
And then it won't.
Why did it put me away?
Things got a little bit intense there, so I might have missed a few things. For instance, I didn't realize that the Ninja that I was using to record the screen of my vMix computer dropped out after about 1.5 minutes. So I wasn't able to show you how the interface responds as it selects the camera angles. So what I've done is recreated the wait timer that shows you how long Virtual Video Director is waiting before it's ready to choose another camera angle. For these early takes, I had VVD's minimum duration set to 4 seconds, which is probably a little more representative of a real world situation. But given this is just a test, later on we turn that off altogether and you get an idea of how quickly VVD can cut instantly to a camera as soon as it hears the corresponding microphone. Also worth noting that for Margot's microphone, initially I chose to use an overhead shotgun mic because I just assumed that she'd crack the shits if I tried to put a lav mic on her. Obviously she moved around like a maniac, so her gain structure perhaps wasn't the most consistent, and that might have affected the results in Virtual Video Director. Later on we do another take where we all wear lav mics, and I think that's a lot more representative of how the system can work. So thanks very much for joining me here today. It's wonderful to have you here in the studio. So first I'd like to start and ask Wesley, what do you want to be when you grow up?
What do I want to be when I grow up? That's actually pretty complicated to ask, and it's a pretty long story.
Well, maybe we'll come back to you. Maybe then what we'll do is ask Margot, what do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to grow up when I get changed to a flying unicorn when I will grow up.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds cool. Is a neocorn like a unicorn?
Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool.
When I grow up.
Oh, wow. That sounds great. Interestingly, I did notice that occasionally when Virtual Video Director cuts to what it calls the overview angle, so that's when you specify a wide angle to cut to when it detects 2 or more people talking at the same time. When it cuts to that angle, sometimes it briefly flashes in another shot before it gets there, so it sort of creates a bit of a flash frame. It happened once on the first take where we had fairly moderate settings. Later on I cranked up the aggressiveness of that overview setting, and it happened quite a few more times, so that's something I'm keen to get to the bottom of. At this point I jumped in and tweaked the aggressiveness setting on Virtual Video Director's overview function. This meant it only had to hear 2 people talking at the same time for 1 second before it would cut to that wide angle that I'd specified as the overview camera. And of course, after a while, Margot felt like I was doing a shit job of asking the questions, so she took over.
Okay, what's your favourite colour, Daddy?
My favourite colour is probably brown, I think.
And the other colour?
Other colour might be, that's a tough one, maybe green?
Green! There. And I'm going to ask Wesley.
What are you going to ask Wesley?
Wesley, what is your perfect night about Christmas? My favourite night about Christmas? Yeah. Well, my favourite night isn't the night about getting presents, but when we get to spend time with the friends and family.
Good answer, buddy. I like that. That's pretty cool.
And I'm going to ask Daddy about Christmas, about his Christmas days. What's your favourite night, Daddy?
Oh, my favourite part is probably cooking the turkey on the Weber. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool too. It's pretty good. I'm going to ask Wesley, what is your favourite twinkle lights? Wait, you mean, what's my favourite one of those? Yeah. The middle of the twinkle light? She's asking me which side is my favourite of the twinkle lights.
A few days later, we had another crack at it. This time we were all wearing lav mics, and I turned Virtual Video Director's minimum duration setting down to 0, which means it was completely free to cut to a camera as soon as it heard the corresponding microphone. And this time I did manage to record the interface of VVD, so you'll be able to see the incoming channels over Dante and how the software is responding to them. Wesley, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Someone who helps the world be itself, and also I would like to be a scientist that creates good machines that can help the world.
That's awesome, buddy. I love that. Margot, what's your favourite toy?
Wait, I got it now. I know it now.
Okay, go.
So it's probably the ones I make.
Oh, you're going to make toys as well as books?
Yeah. Check one, two. Check one, two.
Okay, Margot's off checking her sound levels on a completely unrelated monitor. And she's back. And once more in her classic toddler Gestapo style, Margot decided that she, in fact, asks the questions.
Okay, Daddy, what is your favourite Lego?
My favourite Lego is probably the Millennium Falcon.
Okay, checked. And Daddy, what is your favourite balloon?
My favourite balloon would probably be, like a helium balloon that flies really high up in the sky. What about you?
I don't know about care, but it's all fun.
So there you have it, algorithmically driven multi-camera broadcasting. And if you're a huge Nigel like me, you'll get super excited by any tool that allows you to achieve high-end results with a minimal crew. And this software definitely falls into that category. So that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Such a wanker.